I'm going to go with that. All right, so everyone, this is the afternoon docket. So if you have someone and you're ready, I know we're waiting for the deputies to bring people out in the box. So once they're out, I'll take you up first, Ms. Carrillo, and then what if Damon Lloyd, I think we're waiting for that person. So anybody who's, all right, we're just waiting for your attorney. So anyone else who's ready, if you'll just have the clerk grab your file and we will take your matter up. I'm sorry? No, I don't have Caitlin Martinez. All right, thank you. All right, Caitlin Martinez. All right, so what is happening on this case?
Judge Daniel's handling this case. He's supposed to be looking into a couple things for Judy. He'll be back tomorrow, but I don't see any notes left in our system to give her an answer today.
All right, so what are you waiting on for discovery wise?
There was a lot of different drugs found in different locations at this scene, and we're trying to determine exactly which drugs the defendant had possession of.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, can I have the beginning of December date for this? All right, so we're going to come back on December 1st and state if you can send Daniel a message that we need an answer by that day.
I will.
All right, thank you. After she signs the reset form.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. Janelius Crew. All right, who is the prosecutor on Crew? So, is there discovery issues? That's what it has said. Okay, what are the discovery issues?
We have a disk of 8 hours of discovery on it that we're not able to use in any way. So I talked to Ryan about that, and Ryan is the principal on the case, and he's gonna invite me to his office so we can work on it from there. We don't have a witness list. We also had a phone dump. There are 2 phones involved. The phone of the defendant here, and the phone of one of the witnesses. And those phone dumps haven't been produced, so we just haven't been able to locate them yet and discover them. So those are the main points I would say in discovery.
So is that the only discovery issues?
Let me pull it up just to make sure. So those are judged. Those are the issues. There were more, but Ryan and I worked those out. So those are the only outstanding discovery issues.
All right. And state which of these cases are you proceeding with on trial first?
1 second, Judge.
Yeah. They all arise out of the same transaction.
Oh, they're all out of the same
They
trans.
all- Yes,
Okay.
yes, Judge, they do.
All right, so then here's the other question. The phone dump. State, do you know if you have that in your possession?
I know we have the phones in our possession, Judge. I don't know if the phones have been tracked yet. We'll follow up on it today and try to figure out if it has been. My understanding is that they're constantly trying to get into the phone. And so it just happens at any moment.
Okay.
Just one thing to add on the phone, we also haven't been able to find the warrant to the defendant's phone for inspection of the defendant's phone, so Ryan assured me that that it's there and that he'll send it to me. That's the only thing that I can remember that's still outstanding in discovery, the warrant on the defendant's cell phone. Because the witness consented to her cell phone abuse.
Okay, so we need the warrant on the defendant's cell phone,
Yes,
discovery with the phone dump. You want the witness list,
yes,
and there's a DVD that won't play for you.
right, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, we're gonna set this in December. All of this information, this discovery is gonna be given to you in December, and this is going to jury trial if people want their jury trial in February.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. All right, so we're coming back for discovery on December 19th. And then your jury trial is going to be in February.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there anything else?
Judge, it's related to this case, but it's
Mhm.
not involving the defendant. My investigator asked me if I would urge these motions for her, the motions for recovery of investigative expenses. And I just would ask the court to take a look at them, or however the court wants to proceed.
Oh, sure.
Just leave them.
If you will leave that with me and I'll take a,
Yes.
well, see if can you pass that to me? Let me see if there's any questions I have. And here's this. And is the investigator planning on submitting any more fees or no?
Yes, yes, Your Honor, because there are at least 8 cases with alleged victims, and I think she's only been able to investigate a portion of those.
All right, so I have the cause numbers ending in 9275, 9276, and 9289.
Correct.
All right, I'll send it to the voucher committee and we'll go from there.
Okay, Judge, thank you. And Mr. Crew just mentioned to me that I have no idea whether the court has anything to say about this, but that his position in the Fairfax jail right now is that he's in lockdown, which means that he's not allowed, or he has very limited use of the law library. And he
Okay.
was wondering, his MTR is over, so he was already sentenced on his MTR. He was wondering if there might be an adjustment of status such that he can have more flexible use of the law library. I don't know if he'll be allowed to speak here, just so that he can
Yes.
explain that, because I don't know exactly what the situation is.
All right, what is your situation with the law library?
Well, they give us law library once a month, and I'm in a lockdown unit, not for behavior because of a high bond.
Mhm.
And so it got probably like, we got 20 hours per unit to run in a 24-hour span. And it's times where law library is on a Tuesday, and it's times that I come out Wednesday at 4 a.m. So now I had to wait till next month. And then by the time next month come, I might come out 1 o'clock. Now it's in the jail will not extend the use of law library. So pretty much it's just like we are just left out in the cold. And so I asked the court to put a hold on me or no bond or anything like that. It will get me out of lockdown. I can't bond out. I'm indigent. So I already have a 10-year sentence. I was just hoping the court would.
Okay. Deputy Mejia, can you call and see? I tell you what, just have a seat. Let me call someone right now to see about the law library issue. All right, Mr. Crew, my understanding is that you'll be allowed to use the library. Counsel, if there's some issue where maybe someone doesn't forgets or something, just let me know. But I've been informed that they have his name, they have a SID number, and they're going to make sure that he's allowed to use the library and he doesn't miss library time.
Okay, Judge, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Damian Lloyd. All right. Sorry, we're just still waiting for your attorney. All right, who else is ready? If you all can make sure to let the clerk know so that she can pull your file. And who's your person? Okay. Oops, I may have mixed it up with Crew's file because there were so many. Okay, thanks.
I have the Angela Robinson.
Really, because otherwise we're just staring at each other. Okay, what is happening with D'Angelo Robinson?
It's sentencing.
All right, so let me do this and then I'll take yours up, Miss Carrillo. Are you okay with that?
You were right in the middle of mine, Your Honor.
I know.
Okay.
All right, I'm still, Miss Carrillo, I'm still thinking about
Okay,
your case.
okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 9975 and 2021 CR 9973B, State of Texas versus D'Angelo Robinson. Can our parties approach and announce for the record?
Marcus Sanders for the state.
Albert Chidas for Mr. Robinson.
All right, and are you Mr. Robinson? All right, I'm gonna need you to speak up so I can hear you and so that the court reporter can hear you. In each of the cause numbers, you entered a plea to a cap of 10 years. The state is opposing your applications and they're taking several cases into consideration. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state,
Yes, Your Honor.
defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state,
No, Your Honor.
defense?
There was one typo where it talks about him having a driver's license. He doesn't. have a driver's license. There's a number on the first page.
All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Judge.
Defense, any witnesses?
I'll just call my client.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Robinson, do you understand why we're here? What are we here to do? Okay, and you understand you're asking the judge to grant deferred adjudication probation?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what that means?
Yes, sir.
Can you just briefly describe what probation is?
Pretty much second chance, and if I mess up, then I get my first sentence.
And deferred adjudication, does that mean that you're not found guilty unless you are unsuccessful with your probation? And you understand that there's a downside to deferred adjudication? And
I
the
can't hear
downside-
you. You have to speak up.
Yes, sir. I understand.
And you understand there's a downside to deferred if it is granted and you're unsuccessful, you face a full range of punishment for the offense.
Yes,
Okay, knowing that, you still want to make your application? Okay, now, there's some pretty serious cases that you're facing. Are you taking responsibility for your actions? And is it your intention, if the judge grants deferred adjudication, to stay out of trouble? Is it your intention to work? Is it your intention to report to probation as ordered? And if they tell you you have to do community service, you're gonna do it? If you have to do classes, if you have to take any kind of like anger management or any kind of class that the judge sees fit. Okay. And let me ask you a little bit about your upbringing. Is your dad in your life right now? Can you tell me? a
Okay,
little
you're
bit about your father?
whispering. Is there a reason you're whispering?
no, no, speak louder. My
Okay,
phone-
all right, thank you, because I can't hear.
Yes.
Can you tell me just a little bit about your dad? Well, let me ask you a different question. You said your dad's not been in your life. Where's your dad been?
House already.
Okay, and how old are you right now?
I just turned 19,
How old were you when you committed these offenses?
17.
Okay, and had your dad been in your life most of your childhood?
Yes,
Were you raised by your mother?
yes, sir.
Have you had a good relationship with your mother? Have there been problems at home?
I mean, now that I got out and with all this, working to build a better relationship with my mother.
Okay, and do you have support, if the judge were to consider giving you probation? Do you have a job right now?
I have a job now, or something.
Okay, you've been awaiting this hearing for a while. Have you been looking for employment? Have you found employment? You said you're not working right now. Okay, what's the problem?
They just won't let me work because of my uncle money, saying like the whole situation, they're just not sure if I'm gonna to be there and work.
Okay, and so they don't want to invest in training you and all that, and then you end up going to jail.
Right.
Okay, are you trying to better yourself?
Most definitely.
Do you have your high school diploma?
I'm not sure, but I'm working to get my GED.
Where are you going?
I'm out to college.
Okay, and what has been the progress that you've been making, if any?
What do you mean, school?
Right,
I mean, I've come very far. I took like 3-4 practice tests, but that's pretty much
okay. All right. And what's your long-term goal if you get your GED?
Finish school, go to college, opening my own business, maybe my CEO
Okay, and where are you living right now?
with my brother,
Anybody else living with you there?
my mother.
And are they helping
hold
you,
on.
supporting?
Her mother?
Yes.
Okay, okay, speak up. I can't hear you.
Are they helping you through all this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. No further questions, Judge.
State.
No questions, Judge.
All right. I still don't know. Why did you do this?
Honestly, there's no excuse. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't just tell you, oh, I did this for this reason. At the end of what I do is unacceptable. I'm just here. I'm up to everything I do and face my consequences.
Okay. All right. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, just like to say a few words on his behalf.
All right. State argument.
Judge, we are asking that you deny his application. I understand that we have a defendant who's beyond 19 years old. And generally, we're not, or at least from the state's perspective and my perspective, I'm not pushing to send teenagers to prison. In this situation, we have someone who has committed multiple violent felonies. We have 3 victims in these cases whose lives have been changed forever. One guy who was just trying to do his job, he was delivering food and the defendant pulled out a gun on him when he was just asking for ID. We have 2 other individuals, a father and a son, who were trying to, I believe, sell a PlayStation, if I remember correctly, and he pulled a gun out on them. The victim in that case said he had a daughter and he was afraid for not only his dad, but also that he would never get to see his kids again. He's had opportunities in the past. We can see from his juvenile history that he's been in trouble before. He completed it successfully, but he didn't learn anything from it. I don't believe he would be a good candidate for probation or deferred. And I believe based on his offenses that he should be held responsible and have to spend some time in prison for it, especially for the victims whose lives have been changed forever.
Right. Defense.
And Judge, I would just respectfully disagree with the state. I think that the things he did and a lot of the things he's done are before he was even past being 17 years old. At 17, you know, his brain's not fully formed. And the upbringing that he's had, his father going to prison, his father never being around, his mother, I've met his mother. She's not, I don't know. She's not the best example of maybe the most supportive parent he's ever seen. And so he's grown up basically raised by the streets, having a whole bunch of people that you probably wouldn't take advice on what movie to watch, let alone what to do with your life, being the people that he associates with. He's made huge mistakes. He knows that now. He's trying to turn things around. Yes, there are victims. Thankfully, they were not injured. And I don't mean to minimize what happened, the things that he did, but we can send him to prison and he'll probably come out worse. And then we're gonna have to worry about the things he'll do in the future, or we can give him a chance to right this ship, do the right thing, and prove to this court that he deserves deferred adjudication probation. Yes, he's got some juvenile history. He's got these cases that are before the court, but if he somehow gets it together, gets his GED, maybe goes to college, maybe learns about holding down a job, working 40 hours, he can still be a productive citizen. And the court can still sentence him to a lengthy probation period, supervise his behavior, maybe right him, put him on the right track. And yes, there's a risk. There's always a risk in all these cases. There's always a risk that the person's not going to do what they're supposed to do. But he could do all those things after he gets out. If we put him on the right track, maybe he'll never do anything wrong again. So I asked the court to consider all of the circumstances, including the fact that he hasn't had good leadership with guidance, and the fact that he does have support right now, that he's trying to do right, and that the court has discretion to put him in prison in the future if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. So we would respectfully ask for the court to grant deferred adjudication for Mr. Robinson and see if he can live up to his promise to the court.
Okay. All right, with regards to restitution amount, there's been no restitution stated.
I
Is that
believe
correct?
There, it was in the plea bargain, I believe it was $1,200.
And I believe one of the complainants has received a check from, I don't know if it's an organization for like $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah, there's no, I see where it says in the pre-sentence report, monetary loss 1,200 to 1,300, but I don't see any documentation to justify that, and I haven't received any of that.
And Your Honor, I actually just remembered, I believe the co-defendant has a part of that or is working on paying it. So we wouldn't request restitution.
And what happened to the co-defendant?
The co-defendant, it was a recommendation of deferred judge.
All right, and where's the co-defendant's file?
He fled and was sentenced, and so that may be why it's separated.
Okay. Could I see the co-defendant's file in this case? 2021 CR 99738. Just give me a moment. State, do you remember the reason for the recommendation of deferred for the co-defendant?
Yes, Judge. Partially was because he did not have a second. He didn't have as many cases pending that were violent in nature as this defendant. And also because that defendant was willing to accept responsibility for his actions. I guess I would say sooner than with the defendant.
All right.
Judge, I'm sorry, I just remembered the other part that factored into my decision is that the offer up account from which the ag robbery originated was for this defendant. And I believe he does admit to it in his PSI that he came up with the idea. He denies being there when it happened, but he was, I guess, the mastermind behind it.
Okay. All right, is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor, just that, like I said, he's asking basically for the same thing his co-defendant got, and he's willing to do what he has to do. I think it's the first time in his life that he's ever had to really face anything like this. So I think it's made an impression on him.
All right, anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Robinson, I appreciate and understand your issues with your home life. I'm taking that in consideration in sentencing. What I can tell you is a lot of times people don't have the parents they wish they could have had. And maybe if someone had specific guidance in their life, maybe they wouldn't be where they are now, right? And I'm taking in consideration your age as well. I realize that you're young, but these are violent offenses, right? The plea agreement that was reached in the other case was a plea agreement that was reached in the other case. So this is something separate, but I always like to know what happened with other parties who are involved, because I think that sentencing should always be fair, and I try to take everything into great consideration. And sometimes I take a long time. And the reason why I take a long time is because I want to make sure that I'm doing justice for the person who's in front of me. And there are a lot of things that I have to consider. I have to consider, do I think this person is a good candidate for probation? Do I think this person will do well? If I send this person to prison, what will happen? So it's a very heavy burden. In your case, I am going to deny your applications. If it were a situation maybe where I could do a shock probation on you, who knows? Maybe I would consider doing that, but because of the nature of these offenses, shock probation is not allowed. So what I'm going to do is in each cause number, I'm going to find you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon in each cause number. The cause numbers were run concurrently. The court will take in consideration 2021 CR 9974B, grand jury number 761639, grand jury number 73869. And each of the cause numbers, there should be no contact with Gilbert Diaz, Gilbert Estrada, Israel Guerra, Courtney Pettit. I will ask that you be placed in the therapeutic community. Whether or not you decide to take advantage of the therapeutic community is completely up to you. I can just request it for you, but if you don't ask to be placed in it, they're definitely not going to place you in that, okay? And in cause number 2021 CR 9973B, the court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. And in cause number 2021 CR 9974, the court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison and give you credit for any time served. And each of the cause numbers, the court will request that you be placed in the therapeutic community. In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? And did you sign them? All right, because these are plea bargain agreements in each of the cause numbers, because I followed your agreement. And because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And each of the cause numbers, because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Robinson, sometimes I know you're about to go to prison. Sometimes people think of this as the end of the world, but this is really a chance for you to stop, do better, internalize what got you here. And when you get out of prison, try to do better so you won't be back here. You understand? I know this is making your life harder than maybe you want it to be, or harder than you thought it would be. But it's not the end of the world. And while you're in prison, you need to make sure that you take advantage of all of the opportunities that are there for improvement. I know they have plenty of opportunities for education, and I think the education may be free. So you can get your GED while you're there. You can start doing college work while you're there. Now's the time to start working on yourself, okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you. Ryan.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, we have time for victim impact statement.
All right, excuse me. They say they have a victim impact statement.
It's on Zoom. Yeah.
Oh, he's on Zoom? Is it the person named Gilbert?
Yes.
And I also have an Aurora Gomez.
That's a advocate.
Oh. I'm like, who is Aurora? Well, it looks like there's a problem with them joining. Ah, here we are. Well, Aurora was able to join. Is she a part of the? Should I know her, Brenda? Is today Monday? Yeah, this is why this is happening. It's a Monday. It doesn't appear that your witness is able to join. It keeps saying joining.
We're not able to address that. Fine.
All right. Ms. Gomez, your witness is not able to join. It just shows that it's constantly joining. So I don't know if there's something wrong with the Wi-Fi on his end or our end, because we have issues with technology here.
He did say his Wi-Fi was giving him issues, Judge, but he was able to try again. I'm calling him right now.
Okay. State?
We could have 1 minute, Judge.
I'm sorry?
We'd have 1 minute.
Yes. And then the next person we're going to take up is Chadwick Walker. All right. Brenna?
Yes.
They always put things, the emails that they send you, they put initials instead of saying what it is, so it can be confusing. So there's supposed to be a MFA rollout that it's happening. Yes, that's happening in the county. Have you heard of that? Yeah, because people who are using it, you don't need to know.
What?
It's on a need to know basis, even though we're using it, right? And you know when registration started? November 7th. And you know when this system is going to be activated? November 29th.
Was that multi something?
Yes.
Okay, I got that one too. I haven't done it.
Okay, Judge, I think we're able to get him on. I think he's connecting to the audio.
All right, and is there a reason for the hoodie? Thank you. All right, sir. All right, my understanding is that you are here to give a statement. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So, I always require everyone in the courtroom to treat everyone with respect. So, you can listen to what he's saying, internalize that, and hopefully improve. Okay. All right, you may
Of
start.
course. Me?
Yes.
Well, I mean, just whatever I have to say. All I have to say is, I'm sorry to him for going through this. I'm a forgivable person, and I just wish it wouldn't have went that way. I was hoping for something, I was hoping for an easy trade-off, but I did stay traumatized mentally for weeks, maybe months. Cost me a lot of money. My car was damaged when I got it back, and I just felt like if you walk away from this with probation, I think it's just because you got caught, and I feel like if you didn't get caught, you would have kept doing it. And I just, I don't know what else to say. I had a gun pointed to my head, and I seen my dad had a gun pointed to his head, and I could have not made it home to my daughter. And that really stuck with me in my head. I hope you learn from this. Like I said, I hate to try to get you into any, prison or anything like that. But I just feel like it's the consequences that you have to learn how to face, and you got to go in life with, knowing that there's consequences to everything you do. And I forgive you, bro. Like I just won't forget what you made me go through, and that was a scary moment. But yeah, whatever happens, I don't hate you. I forgive you, and I'll leave it up to the judge to decide. That's pretty much all I have to say.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yes, you're welcome.
Bye-bye. All right. Thank you.
Judge.
You're welcome. Court is calling 2022 CR 6939, State of Texas versus Chadwick Walker.
Afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. So we are back. Is there any further argument from either side?
Not particularly, except just briefly, Judge, I do believe that just what I had said was that the things I said, plus the fact that I do believe he claimed that he was not on drugs on the time of this incident, and that he said he believed he did nothing wrong, which we believe makes him not a candidate for probation.
And, Your Honor, just by pleading and doing, not having a trial, he's taking responsibility for that. There's nothing there to show that he has, had any focus here. What I want to focus I don't want the court to consider that he had an episode, he was in a period of time where he was not in a good place, and it's been not in a good place for a long time, but he's not had appropriate treatment in order to maybe change that. And this is what we're asking the court for. Now, even the complainant says, you know, prison's not, it's not a good thing because he's, you know, he's also a lawyer and he has, I'm sure, represented other defendants, and we all know that prison is not a good alternative for any kind of treatment. And he has accepted responsibility for his actions. Now, some of it might misunderstand what he said, but he can address the court, and he wants to address the court on that. Yeah.
All right, you're still, I believe that I previously placed you under oath, but let me just do that again.
I think you did, Your Honor,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah.
if-
Raise your hand again, please. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name.
Chadwick Van Walker.
All right. Defense, do you have any questions for him, or is there something he would just like to say to the court?
Would your court ask him question?
I would like, first off, apologize to the victim. To report, they'd like to understand my case. It was a very touching case. I didn't break, I just understand, I didn't break anything, I didn't steal anything, the door was wide open. I accidentally walked through the door.
How do you, wait a minute, let me stop you right there. How do you accidentally walk into a door? Because I'm assuming it's not that you're walking along the street and it's like some time continuum and you are walking and all of a sudden a door appears and you walk through it. So how do you accidentally walk in a door?
Because it was open, it's connected to a bar. It's connected to a bar, I thought it was part of a bar, actually. Yeah,
What?
Are you saying wall or bar?
bar,
Bar.
a liquor bar, a drinking bar. Yeah, I had a couple of drinks.
No, see, now something different is being said. And let me just tell you. I read everything. Now, according to this, what ends up happening is you tell the police, according to this PSI report, when they come upon you, that someone hit you on the back of the head with a broom, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So now you're telling me a completely different story that is different from the police reports, and it's different from this.
Yeah, no, it's not different, it still happens.
Your Honor, the thing is that.
I'm sorry, just 1 second. So in the PSI report, it says, as to the incident offense, the defendant stated that on this day he had gone to CVS to get candy. He stated that after leaving CVS, he went behind the CVS and was going to sit down in a patio area. He stated that he thought the area was for public. He stated that he was putting candy in the flower pot when all of a sudden he was hit in the back of the head with a broom. He stated that he stumbled and left the location. He stated that a little while after he was approached by the police in question, he stated that he was arrested for the instant offense.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So the CVS is not a bar.
It's a bar connected to the CVS too as well.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for him to clear all this up?
I mean,
That's the best I'm telling the truth. This situation is very touching because of where I was at and what I thought the building was. So you understand, have sympathy for me because I wish you could see exactly where it was at. But that's what happened. I was on the patio, and that's where I got struck.
No, according to the police report, it says that you were in this complainant's building, that part of it is a building for offices. The next part of it is actually their private residence, and that they heard noise from down below. They were coming down the stairs and they were shouting for you to leave. You would not leave. They shouted again for you to leave. You would not leave. And so they hit you. And that's when you finally left. So this story and then the story in the PSI report is that you were at CVS. I'm assuming CVS stands for CVS Pharmacy. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Right. So according to the statement in the PSI report and the police report, oh, I'm lounging at CVS pharmacy putting candy in flower pots. I don't know why people would put candy in flower pots. I don't know if candy grows that way. But it says that you were putting candy in flower pots and somebody came up behind you and hit you with a broom. It doesn't even mention being at the residence of this complainant. Am I reading incorrectly? If I am, somebody tell me.
No, Your Honor, you're not.
State any questions or any clarifications for the court?
Judge, just briefly, just for the PSI, I do see that in the official version, there is a reference to some place that he had been 20 minutes beforehand where he was kicked out of which I'm assuming is the CVS for stealing Kit Kats, and he was given a criminal trespass warning 20 minutes before he was encountered here. So I'm assuming he was going places he wasn't supposed to go before the actual burglary.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor, all I'm saying is that, all I'm asking the court to consider, at the point that how he was acting as to if he was on something, I don't know, that he needs some help. And he has quite a history, even as a juvenile, but I don't see anywhere where he has some really extensive help to help him overcome a lot of these actions.
All right, I do see in here that he's supposed to have just one moment. All right. Any other argument from either side?
No, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with law offices of Henry Gonzalez or 205 North Presa Street. Mr. Walker, if you would like, I can have you, I can make a request for you to be referred to the therapeutic community if you would like that. It doesn't increase the time that you're in custody. They will not hold you longer than 2 years. But if they accept you, it will be something that could actually help you. No, thank you. Okay. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it?
I got it.
And did you sign it? You're welcome. Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Sure.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you. You're gonna have to do better. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself in and out of prison.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck to you, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And thank you for coming back. All right, the person on Damon Lloyd, is the attorney here?
Damon Lloyd.
Yes. Yep. And after Damon Lloyd, we will have Orlando Hernandez, Justin Perry, and Alan Calvo. Yes. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 3272, State of Texas versus Damon Lloyd, can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
defense?
John Oxford and
And are you Mr. Lloyd?
Yes, no.
All right, defense, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
yes, we have, and we have. Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Lloyd, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge. We filed a motion to amend the indictment. We're asking to include account 2, terroristic threat of a public servant.
Any objection?
Um, How do you want?
No,
I do.
Judge.
Well, no, I have no objection to count 2.
Okay, and then Judge,
Well, let's start there. So defense, do you have any objection to the amendment?
No,
All right. Mr. Lloyd, do you understand that the state is requesting to amend the indictment? And that's a substantive change to the indictment? Do you have any objection to that amendment?
No, Your Honor.
And do you understand that your attorney has a right to 10 days to prepare for trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
And knowing that, do you still wish to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will grant the state's motion. Any other additions to the count 2 now?
yes, Judge, we are waiving count 1, proceeding on count 2. The lesser included class B terroristic threat. So we are striking through the public servant language.
Any objection?
no, Your Honor.
Mr. Lloyd, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of terroristic threat as a class B misdemeanor? The range of punishment is up to a $2,000 fine and up to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to a $2,000 fine and up to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Lloyd, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 2 only. They're asking that they proceed on the lesser included offense of terroristic threat. There's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, and there's to be no contact with Ezekiel, Ezequiel, Juarez, Juarez. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 1 year. There'll be a top evaluation and 80 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the lesser included offense of terroristic threat, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State, any evidence?
Yes, the state offers states exhibit 1 and its attachments.
We reviewed it. We have no objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Lloyd, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, sir. You can proceed.
All right, anything you want to say on behalf of your client?
Yeah, Damon has been a CNA for the past 3 years. He's also an active reservist in the military. He's an E4 combat engineer. His intentions in this probation is successfully completed is to go active duty in the military. No prior criminal history. This was a very unfortunate, isolated incident, and we ask that you approve the plea bargain as listed in the paperwork.
How old are you?
I'm 28, Your Honor.
28.
Yes, ma'am.
So what have you learned from this?
I learned that I actually need to not jump into things so fast. Me being in the military, I feel like I acted way faster than I should have. I should have thought about it. And
What thought about going into the apartment with another man's wife?
well, it's a hard situation, Your Honor, because we were all friends. That's the only reason why I was in there, and my dog.
Well, that
used
sort
it.
of makes it worse if you're kissing on another man's wife that y'all are supposed to be friends. No good can come of that.
I understand that, Your Honor.
That's all I can tell you. No, nothing good can come of that. So are you employed or
Yes.
military?
CNA, certified nursing assistant.
Yes.
It's been for over 3 years now.
Yes.
All right. Is there any drug, alcohol problem?
No, ma'am.
All right. So the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 1 year deferred adjudication. Of course, if he completes everything early, he's more than welcome to come and see about being terminated early. There's to be no contact with Ezekiel Juarez. There's to be regular reporting to probation. 80 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. Court is not requiring you to do that, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. There's to be regular UAs. Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
Just your dog?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what type of dog is it?
Great Pyrenees.
How old?
She's four right now.
Okay. And probation, is there anything else he needs? Thank you. Proof of employment within 15 days. Anything else?
Did you want any field visits?
We'll do field visits one time per month. If there's no issues after 3 months, that can be discontinued. There's no classes that I can give you to say, hey, don't date another man's wife. There's,
I think, Judge, the complainant in this case has moved from
From the apartment.
complex, so there's
Okay.
no legal burden for the contact.
all right. All right, is there anything else you need in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor, just what you just gave me today.
Okay, all right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, we can go off the record. So much could have happened. You're going into another man's home with that man's wife. Okay, all right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Who's here on Orlando Hernandez? Yes.
Can I follow up briefly on that?
Yes.
The language from the state was striking. So is there a line?
If you can look at it, you'll see that in the actual plea paperwork, it's not mentioned.
Okay.
Yes, but you can review it. All right, state,
Oh, this is for tomorrow's docket.
oh, this is tomorrow?
Yes, Judge.
Okay,
So I
yes,
just wanted to see if we could get him excused. He's got
yes.
medical issue. He's supposed to be somewhere for testing.
Okay. All right. Okay, but I'll still see you here. Or have you talked to the state about this missing video?
I have not talked to the state yet.
All right, if you want to go ahead and confer with them about the missing video, maybe they can. And if you'll make a copy for that for the file, and then we can approach back on this to see if you need to be here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Justin Perry. Court is calling 2022 CR 6621, State of Texas versus Justin Perry. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Jacqueline Lamerson for Mr. Perry.
And are you Justin Perry?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Perry, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication of Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Perry, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor, we've discussed those defenses and the fact that it is my advice not to enter into this plea deal. However, my client does wish to take it.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is.
Mr. Perry, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you into this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain agreement. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Corey, Corey, Nowak, Nowak, or IHOP at 2634 Southwest Military Drive. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
None, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 150 hours of community service restitution and the APSE course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, state offers takes exhibit 1 in its attachments.
No objections.
Mr. Perry, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, not at this time.
All right, Mr. Perry, do you have any children?
Yes.
What are their ages?
3. I got one
He's
child.
3 years
3.
3, okay. And where is your 3-year-old now?
He's in Houston, Texas.
By himself? Who's with him?
No, his mother.
Okay. Did you have an employment before you were arrested?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Doing
ma'am.
what?
Pallet rack business,
I'm sorry, what?
building pallet rack for inside warehouses.
Okay.
I work for Absolute Racks and Shelving.
Any drug issues
No, ma'am.
ever?
A long time ago, but
And what was that?
crack cocaine.
So how did you stop using crack cocaine?
I just stopped. Probably about 5-6 years ago, ma'am.
Where's your family?
All over Texas, Houston, Waco, Lubbock, Austin. I have an older brother right now in San Antonio
Okay, why are you in San Antonio?
because my older brother lives out here in San Antonio.
Are your parents still alive?
No,
Okay, so is it just you and your brother, or do you have other siblings?
no, I got other brothers.
And
I
where
got
are they?
3 brothers, 1 sister.
And where are they?
Waco and Lubbock and Austin.
Okay. All right, any other questions? All right, so You're not gonna be able to go to the IHOP on 2634 Southwest Military Drive.
I understand that.
All right, so I'm gonna follow your agreement, sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. No contact with Corey Nowick or IHOP at 2634 Southwest Military Drive. Regular reporting in person or by Zoom. 150 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination with booster. The court is not requiring you to do that, but if you do or you have it, 40 of those hours will be waived. I'm going to ask for parenting classes with Triple T. Once you complete those parenting classes, the remaining of the community service hours will be waived. The APSE course, there's to be regular UAs. Field visits. Are you living with anyone?
Yes, my older brother.
Okay. There's going to be field visits 2 times per month until further notice. Going to want a TAP evaluation. If the TAP evaluation recommends inpatient treatment, we're going to start with outpatient treatment. Either way, I'm going to want him in the outpatient treatment. Proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
On the outpatient treatment, do you want intensive and supportive?
Supportive.
And that'll be all.
Okay. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we can go off the record. Mr. Perry, here's the advice I'm going to give you. And I try to give people life advice, right? When somebody asks you to leave a location, just leave.
Yes, ma'am.
It doesn't matter if you were invited there. At the end of the day, anytime somebody says, hey, we don't want you here anymore, leave, just leave. And if you want to contact an attorney because you think that person should have asked you to leave and you should be able to stay, you can contact an attorney after the fact, as opposed to coming to see me. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, good luck to you.
You too. Thanks.
Who's here on Alan Calvo? Who's the attorney on Alan Calvo?
Monica, she came here not too long ago.
All right, Norma, can you see where Monica is? And who's here on, oh, they're still discussing Orlando Hernandez. All right, I need to see Mark Ivy's file. And we need Emmanuel Davila. Oh, okay, dismissed. Thank you. And I think Michael Tapio, that was reset. Anthony Villarreal, that's done. Curtis Williams, done. All right, I need Fox Shane. Jose Castagnon. Chardonnay Lockhart. Justin Montemayor. Ramon Longoria. Anthony Biddent. Jacqueline Wells.
You want to have an update on that document?
Yes.
So She was removed from the list for inpatient, for residential treatment, being medically ineligible.
Mhm.
A supplemental report was submitted and conditions were missing.
Okay, all right, so that's done. So that one's done. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Anthony Bennett. What date? Because he was deemed incompetent. And based upon the offense, they're going to have to, I have on here recalled November 28th. Why is he here now? Okay. Yes, that's what I have in the docketing sheet, that the defense attorney requested that it be recalled on the, okay, all right, so that'll come back on the 28th. Okay. And then on Ramon Longoria. Has he been transferred yet? Okay. All right, which date do you want to bring him back? All right, let's bring him back in January, because he has to, according to the law, he has to go into an inpatient treatment. Okay. We'll bring him back on the 31st. Okay, you mute us. All right, court is going to call 2022 CR 0613, State of Texas versus Alan Calvo. Could our parties approach and announce for the record for the state,
Michelle Hayden for the state.
for the defense?
Monica Corrales for defense.
And are you Mr. Calvo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, we have received it. We did not review it with our client. We discussed it though.
All right. Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Calvo, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication, Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're proceeding on the lesser included offense of violation bond protective order.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of violation bond protective order as a Class A misdemeanor? The range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this cause number?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to, just 1 second, sentence you up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Calvo, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, definitely.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of violation of bond or protective order. There's a $1,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There is to be no contact with Lily Megan Marquez. Did you understand that to be the
Yes,
plea?
Your Honor.
Defense,
Yes, Judge.
state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 1 year. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 100 hours community service restitution, no firearms, GPS tracking for 6 months, hostility and aggression course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offense of violation bond or protective order, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
State offer states exhibit 1, its attachments into evidence.
No objection.
Mr. Calvo, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand? Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, can you go off the record for a moment?
printing them all out, but I don't know if you're gonna want more than, it's just her showing the officer her phone.
So do y'all want to come back tomorrow?
Judge, we're willing to stipulate to that first allegation.
I would still need,
I've got a picture of like her hand holding up those, because I think that picture didn't attach.
you know, I will tell you, I think maybe we can move this. Here's one of the